Today we're gonna check out all the healers in Season of Discovery and how they work in Phase 3 so we can answer the question, who is the most busted? Let's start with the Mage, okay? Now the Mage healer is almost a universally hated spec by everybody that is not a healer. And while I don't think that's fair because they do have some great output, okay? So the heals per seconds are very good. They also have a point on that criticism. And that is that their heals are unreliable. They are awkward. They need to cast damage and multiple globals to do like a good, their peak healing, let's say. They are not nearly as bad as they used to be because at least now they got chronostatic preservation, this rune right here. It's basically like you can save a heal for later. So they do have a more consistent heal for when they are in a pickle now, which is great. Also they buff the hell out of regeneration now, so regeneration right here, it works more or less. It has two phases. You put the beacon on somebody, but it also is like a normal heal that you channel. It used to be that the normal heal that you channel was pretty much worthless and all the healing went like your damage, but now it's actually functions more or less like a normal heal. It heals for something now, so it got a lot better, but it is still kinda clunky, kinda unreliable. It is hard to account for the raid, so that's annoying. But right now the only rune that we got to see so far for the Mage healer is in the helmet slot, and that is Temporal Anomaly. It is like a living flame, but instead of like hitting people, it just gives them shields for the party. So yeah, it is really nice. Shields on AoE are a great utility, so they is definitely gonna come in handy, but none of the core challenges and strengths of the Mage change, okay? It is gonna remain a very high HPS healer, and it is still gonna need like a decent, reliable healer to complement him. So we are probably not going to see Mage healers on the top guilds. That's not how it's gonna work. But for your average guild, they have the potential to be very good though. Next class is gonna be the Priest right here. Priest remains an essential part of almost any guild. In the Horde, they are essential, and in the Alliance, they are still very important too, even though not as vital as they are in the Horde. They are very strong at tank healing. Shields are insane utility. They got a very good shield, and the stamina and the spirit buff, of course, you cannot forget those. And they also got the choice of running Homunculi, and like it reduces armor, so that's more damage. And it also does a ton of damage, which is great if you want to kill the boss faster. There is nothing like 6 homunculi hidden at the guy or something. They also got Shadow Fiend for mana now, but it also does even more damage. So as a healer, they are one of the highest damage output ones you can get. Maybe like a Druid or a Mage are the only ones ahead of that. Now the Priest is the hyper tank healer guy, and if you look at the new runes they got this phase, it's more of that. They got first of all this rune right here. Every time they crit, their next flash heal is gonna be an instant, so this is gonna increase their output. So if you're just spamming heals on one guy over and over and over and over and over again like you are with a tank, this is a lot of value. And in the head slot, they are getting Divine Aegis. Their critical heals create a shield on the target for 30% of the amount healed. So overhealing is off the table anymore. They are incentivized now to waste and do big heals as much as they can just to proc this thing. This is insane. Like being able to increase the potential HP of your tank by 30% of your heal. That is outrageously stupid. It's kind of annoying for other healers, but you cannot deny this is gonna be insanely strong. So the Priest is not gonna change his niche this tier. It is gonna remain a tank healer. It has like a more or less decent AoE healing capabilities, but that's not why you bring a Priest into the raid. You get it for the tank healer, and they are gonna remain excellent at it. I would obviously take one for the Horde because they got Vital Dispels, and yeah, you need these spells, no matter what you do. The next one is gonna be the Resto Shaman right here. The Resto Shaman has not been quite up to par with all the other healers on the previous tiers, and that is for quite a few reasons. First of all, the Resto Shaman its main thing, like its more characteristical thing, is that it is a very mana efficient healer. It has a lot of sustain mana thing. They also got Mana Tide, which is really nice. Even though Mana Tide in vanilla is kinda crap, it got really buffed in TBC, but here is not a lot of mana. The main cool thing that the Shaman has is Healing Rain. It is like a nice AoE ability to heal in AoE. That's like the Shaman's identity has always been AoE healing, so it makes sense. And they also got Earth Shield. Now the thing about Earth Shield is not the heal itself, it is also pretty crap. The cool part about Earth Shield is that if the tank heals with it, the heal threat that it generates, which is not a lot but is there, it goes to the tank, so it helps the tank pump a little more threat. That's kinda cool. Overall though, the Shaman got 2 new runes this tier, so here's the thing, and here's why I think Blizzard is kinda... We are doomed to have bad Shamans because I don't think Blizzard understands the Shaman, sadly. First of all, look at this, Tidal Waves. When you cast Chain Heal, you get 2 charges of Tidal Waves, which reduces the cast time of your healing wave by 30% and reduces the critical effect chance of your lesser healing wave by 25%. Now, if I were you, I would probably go for lesser healing wave for the extra crit, because when you crit, you get ancestral healing right here. This thing gives a lot of armor, okay? So I probably want to stack that up. This is going to be coming handy for that. And then you got Riptide though. This is clearly intended for tank healing. And the weird thing about this one, like, it's like a regrowth. You put a heal on somebody and it drops a hot on them at the same time. But also it increases the heal by chain heal by 25%. So you are supposed now to chain heal the tank? Maybe? I don't know, it doesn't make much sense wherever you wanna look at it, okay? Like, the Shaman is designed to be like only a raid healer and to pump raid heals, but like now you're crippled by your own runes because you wanna like weave in like lesser healing waves and weave in like single target heals in between, and you wanna chain heal the tank instead of like chain healing the raid, so your heals are gonna get sniped. Because like, of course you're gonna get a tank healer, like God help your soul if you expect a Shaman to tank heal your raid. And yes, I think Shamans are still gonna be really nice because like in 20 mens, AoE healing is a lot more important than in a 10 men, obviously, because there is more people. But at the same time, I feel like these runes here are gonna fight you the whole time. Like, you're gonna be like trying to swap chain heal to single target heals to be as efficient as possible, and that is gonna screw you in the butt. You wanna spam AoE heals, that's what you're good at, and now you're just forced to not do that half the time, and that's stupid. Also, as you're gonna see in a minute, I think they got destroyed by the Resto Druid, so there is not a good reason to take a Resto Shaman ever, in my opinion. That's really sad. The only way that I see that this could work out is if they overtune the hell, and I mean the hell out of Riptide. Like, let's say Riptide is a huge heal, maybe then the Resto Shaman is gonna come like a good healer, but honestly, I do not see it happening. I just can't see it. On the other hand, I think the Holy Paladin remains like a very clear niche. I think the developers know exactly what he's supposed to be, and that is a tank healer, okay? Holy Paladins have very high scaling talents, and they are very good at casting one spell over and over on it, and that's perfect for tank healing. And they do not have a lot of AoE capability, but that is fine, because you always need somebody to pump the tank really hard. So they will always have a job. If you look at the new runes they are getting, for the head, they are getting this one right here, Fanaticism, 18% critical chance. Okay, that doesn't sound as insane as it should be, okay, but take a look at this. Illumination. Every time you crit, your spells cost no mana. So this means not only that you're gonna crit and your heals are gonna be bigger because you crit, it also means that on average, you're gonna get 18% cheaper spells. Tell me that is not stupid. We didn't get to see what the Bracer rune is gonna be yet. We got a tank one and like a bunch of like DPS ones here, which is a little sad. We're gonna have to see that. But overall, I don't think the rest of the Holy Paladin is going anywhere. The Holy Paladin is gonna pump the tank, and it also has these spells, which makes them super important in a raid. The Holy Paladin is gonna remain there. You can get rid of them. You can only hope to contain them. And finally, we gotta talk about the Resto Druid, okay? This is probably the class that I understand the most right now because I play it. I played most of the other healers in vanilla, but the Resto Druid is a class I understand very well. And I say this because I think most people do not understand what the Resto Druid is supposed to be, what the Resto Druid is good at. The Resto Druid is neither an AoE healer or a single target a tank healer. The Resto Druid is a base load tank healer and a raid healer at the same time. What do I mean by that? You got heal on time effects. The good thing about heal on time effects is that other heals do not have is that they are perfectly predictable. It is a certain amount of healer every second. So if healing the tank is somebody else's job, you can complement them very well because they can expect and they are not gonna over heal because they know exactly that the tank is just gonna get a little more HP over time. So you're just basically making it so the other healer is gonna have better time to react to and not much else. if you take a look at the leg rune we got here, and this got buffed, so it's even better. Life Bloom, you can roll 3 Life Blooms on somebody, they are like a very potent heal on time effect, and then it pops and it gives you the mana back and it does a big heal. That's all you gotta know about Life Bloom. The other spell that is very important for you is gonna be Wild Growth right here. This is right here, Wild Growth, the most broken, and I am not lying, this is the most broken spell in the game right now. Show me a stronger heal than this. Show me, I challenge you. You do a gazillion healing for the entire party, okay? So the Resto Druid has insane raid healing capabilities at a limited scale. Why? Because Wild Growth is insane, but it has a cooldown. So you cannot just spam Wild Growth, that would be like super broken. So what you're supposed to do is roll Life Blooms on the tank for the base load healing that I explained, and then you throw Wild Growth. And then you just do Life Blooms on other people if you can, or Nourish. Nourish is a really nice new spell that we got here that you can use it to heal somebody like a healing touch, but when they get a hot on them it's better, so it's a very efficient normal heal, so to speak. Anyway, the Druid has insane output, although it has mana issues because it heals so freaking much. But at the same time, I wanna be happy for a minute, and I'm gonna give credit to the classic team when I have to. They nailed the identity, okay? It is very clear that whoever designed the runes for the Druid understands what Resto Druids are supposed to do, because they do not understand the bear at all. But oh my god, this rune is brilliant, okay? Your Swift Mend ability causes efflorescence, healing all party members within 15 yards, yada yada yada. It basically is like a second Wild Growth. It is basically a conflagrate for heals. It consumes your heal on time effects, okay, and like it turns it into an instant heal for the tank. So not only now you have an instant heal that is very big for the tank, a second emergency heal on top of nature's swiftness right here, but also you have a second Wild Growth. So they got better at tank healing and they got better at AoE healing, doing the same thing at the same time. I think it is gonna get too broken, but I don't think it is impossible to fix. I think that like this can be tuned better as time goes on. I am very happy for the Resto Druid. This is good design. I cannot believe I'm saying this. So let's do the TLDR right here. Druids are gonna be friggin' pumpers. I think Druid is set to be the highest output healer in the game, and I haven't even seen the other rune yet. We haven't seen, it hasn't leaked yet. So you can only imagine how strong it's gonna get. If you wanna roll a healer, roll a Druid right now. I think you're gonna have an easy time. Second is gonna be the Priest. I think the Priest and the Holy Paladin are gonna stay very respectable tank healers. You're gonna need either one or the other. They all do almost the same thing. They dispel and they got a bunch of utility and they have the tank heals. You need one of those. I think after that the Mage has potential to be somewhat like a Druid, very similar, in the sense that it has very potential for very high output, but the problem is it is not reliable, so you are still gonna need a backup healer to complement them. Something like a Priest or a Druid would probably be good for that situation to work with him, so it can work even if top guilds are not gonna want a Mage healer, I suppose. And the Shaman doesn't look good at all. I don't think the Shaman is gonna work, and that makes me very sad because I rolled the Shaman for Resto and I cannot even play it now. Let's hope they buff the heck out of them. Subscribe, leave a like, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.